Welcome back to this Mahurat trading special. Once again, wishing all our viewers a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Well, it's been one of the best Samvats for us in the last 6 years, and today too in pre-opening, things are looking good, up about less than %0.5%. So looks like the Mahurat trading session is also going to go on well. Let's get two market veterans into our conversation now. We have Udayan Mukherjee who joins in, and Sudarshan Sukhani is also sitting by. Gentlemen, to both of you, a very happy Diwali. Udayan, let me start off with you. The market is up a whopping 25% between last Diwali and now, and more importantly, the mood among retail investors has improved, something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Hi Sonia, wish you and all viewers a very happy Diwali first, and it's really been a very nice ride from the last Diwali onwards to this one. And I think the significant point is what you just touched upon, that I think this run up to the Diwali in some small sense has heralded the return of the retail investor to the market after a gap of full 5 or 6 years. I think all mutual fund managers will bear testimony to that the first signs of them coming back to the market into this forgotten asset class is probably the high point or the big story of the market from last Diwali to this Diwali, much more than the fact that we've had a 25% rally between those 2 points. Let's see what happens now onwards, because the conviction of the retail investor or the high net worth investor, the domestic investor, would have been tested a little bit by the correction in October. And these are usually the good testing points which tell you how strong conviction is in this bull run or this uptrend in the market that we've all been discussing. So I think this Diwali is a good time for reflection and to sit back and take stock for a lot of people who've missed out and not participated yet, because I believe there is a very large population of investors who were there in 2007 who've still not summoned up the courage to enter the equity markets. And this correction that's happening right now is a good point for them to reflect on whether they should be upping their weightage on equities as an asset class once again. Some people have already done it, but whether more should join the bandwagon right now and ride the wave to the next Diwali is a very important discussion point.
Fair point. Then actually we have to rush back to the markets in about less than 5 minutes. So what would your one maxim or word of wisdom, a pearl of wisdom that you want to impart to our viewers on this Samvat 2071?
Well, I would say just be a bit more courageous this time around. You've been in a shell for the last 6 years. We've played out our down cycle. Almost, we are probably in the last innings or beyond that of the down cycle. Everything changes. We usually move in 6-year or 5-year kind of cycles. I think it's time to probably be a bit brave and position oneself for the next up cycle, which probably will be the next 5 or 6 Diwalis. That is my expectation, and that's the best I can say for people who are still not in the equity market. We are probably passing through a few dark moments out here where conviction will get tested. But I think the next 5 or 6 Diwalis could be, if not like 2007 to 2011, 2003 to 2007, probably a very good time for investing and making money from the stock market. That is my expectation. I keep my fingers crossed, and I hope people participate and make a lot of money over the next 5 years for themselves.
Oh, that's very nice to hear, Udayan Mukherjee. Thank you very much for joining us with that perspective as well over the next 4 or 5 years, and that maxim that now is the time to delve into the equity markets if you have stayed away. Well, now let's get to brass tags and invite Sudarshan into this conversation. A very happy Diwali and a great New Year to you yet again, Sudarshan Sukhani. Well, let me start with a feel-good question. What is the overall chart of the Nifty or the Sensex telling you at this juncture? How much could the dip be, and what does the high look like at this point in time for 2014?
Yeah, good evening, Lata, and a very happy Diwali to all the viewers. Well, this basic question has a cheerful answer. The charts for the Nifty tell us we are in a long-term bull market. We built a base that lasted for 4 to 5 years. We've broken out of that base. If the base building takes 5 years, then hopefully the bull market will also give us 5 years of rallies. So that's the underlying theme over which we are working and through which we are trading. That's the long-term theme. To say if the correction is over, Lata, is a short-term call. No one knows that. The markets can correct, but we know the levels, which is much more important. 7800 is now our line in the sand. So far as the Nifty is above 7800, which is the recent low, I have rounded it off. We'll assume that the correction is over and the Nifty is going towards 8200, testing the lifetime highs and maybe making newer ones. Maybe we'll go to 8400 and then come back to 7800. All these are conjectures. We don't know. Why worry about it? At this point we know we should be on the long side so far as the Nifty for the intermediate trader is above 7800. For the short-term trader, we keep on talking about what the levels are, where your stop loss should be. At this point, we should be long anyway.
Sudarshan, go ahead. Okay, hi Sudarshan, good evening and happy Diwali. It's been a great year for all of us and thank you for enlightening us and our viewers all through the year. But in about 1.5 minutes, it's going to be time for business. So tell us what one should be buying in the next 1 hour, this Mahurat session.
Well, go for mid-caps today and just buy. And you rightly asked, we should be shorting this market, not today, not because we are in a short-term uptrend. I'll quickly rattle off the names that I think are worth looking at. One is Adani Ports. I think Lata asked about it yesterday, and today is the day when you want to buy it. NTPC, which is giving us a dream pattern, a bullish head and shoulder. Yesterday it corrected, which means you could actually buy it on a dip. Bharat Forge, which is in a huddle after a sharp correction, it's giving us a sense that the correction is over and a big breakout is imminent. That's 3. And finally, we have Godrej Industries, which is a high-risk buy. We are trying to see if a low has been made and catch that bottom if possible. All mid-caps, all blue chips, all good quality stocks, go long.
Sudarshan, hi, good evening and happy Diwali. And if you want to round it up with one index stock as well, apart from NTPC, one other index stock that you believe could be the stock of the next year.
No, anything could be the stock of the next year, but buy State Bank of India.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Hero Moto, Sudarshan. Wasn't that your stock of the next many years?
Yeah, it is.
No, that's a fair point. But it's nice that you say State Bank of India because State Bank of India is a proxy for the economy. So when State Bank of India moves, a whole lot of Indian economy moves. And that's a nice thought when you're standing before, a trading year and wanting that trading year to be very good. So what Sudarshan is effectively telling you is that the economy should do well. Otherwise, you can't see State Bank of India doing well. Okay, that's 20 seconds for the markets to open. Let's just check where the Sensex and the Nifty are preparing to open at this point in time. I think they're looking for a 0.4%, almost a 0.5% gain. The Nifty is looking at 8,000 very firmly. 8,027 is where it appears it will open, and the Sensex is quite close to the 26,900 mark. Those are Diwali celebrations, pictures that you are getting from the BSE. There was a time when we used to go there and report it. Okay, there it's open, 0.4 higher, 8,030 is where it has opened, and that's the trading celebration, the gong going, the conventional gong going in BSE for the Sensex to give its first trade. It's given a trade of 1/3% higher, 26,875. The biggest gainer at this point in time is, I think Ultratech Cement. Ultratech Cement starting with a 1.3% gain. What else do we have in the gainers list? Actually quite a few. JSPL, I'm sorry, is the best gaining stock. 2.5% higher. Next is Ultratech, 1.3. ONGC is giving 0.7 higher. HCL Technologies, 0.7 up again. Tata Power, 0.8. Grasim, 0.8. Hindalco, 0.8. I like that. They're all smokestack stocks, economy stocks, all of them that are going up. So that's a nice thing that's happening in the early part of the trade. And then comes the consumption stock. Asian Paints, after those numbers, 1.2% higher. NMDC, 0.6 higher. NTPC up 0.7. So there was Sudarshan calling it before it opened and asked you to take a long call over there. What else? Lupin, okay, that's just 0.1. SBI is just up 1/3%. Axis is flat, but Sun Pharma is up 0.5%. ICICI Bank 0.5%. Larsen Toubro 0.4, almost half. Dr. Reddy's, Bharat Petro, BHEL, all of them up between 1/3% and 0.4. Is there anything in the red? Kotak Mahindra, mildly so, but then it ran up so much. IndusInd as well, 0.1%, hardly. It is Sesa that's given up a lot of its gains, 1.2 down, 1% down. Maruti as well is a bit flat at this point in time. Tata Motors is down 0.6. My dear girl, auto stocks are not the flavor of the day, but not the flavor of the hour. But Hero Motor is standing tall with a 0.5% gain. So the other auto stocks that have given up a bit. Hindustan Unilever is flat, and Gail and Wipro are not adding much to themselves, down 0.4. But overall, the Nifty has maintained a 0.25% lead, 8,015, and the Sensex 26,850.
All right, the mid-caps, there's quite a bit of token trading that we're seeing in the mid-cap space today. So up about 0.6%. The market breadth is very good, almost 1,000 stocks on the advancing side this evening. And in terms of individual stocks, lots of power names seeing buying. So India Bulls Power is up about 5-odd%. GVK Power is up about 2.5-odd%. Syntex Industries, that has been one of the better performing stocks of the last many months. It's up about 2%. South Indian Bank is up 1.5%. And a lot of stocks like Exide, etc. are doing quite well. I don't see too many stocks in the red. I wouldn't expect that either. But Wipro posted its numbers yesterday or on Friday is down of almost about 4-odd%. So that's a stock that you should be looking at. And Apollo Tyres, one of the best performing stocks this year. Apollo Tyres is up about close to 200% between last Diwali and now. There is a bit of profit taking that you're seeing over there. But let's get back to actually one comment from Anuj. Anuj, 8,016 on the Nifty. So, you know, the good run continues.
The good run continues.
It's all about token trading.
It's all about token trading. And, you know, sometimes you feel that, sometimes market keeps this, good mark of 8,000 for auspicious day. You know, the Nifty closed at 79.95. It didn't close above 8,000, because you wanted to see 8,000 first up in the morning. You may go back below it. You never know. As I said, on Diwali day, normally the start is positive, the end is flat. So you may go back. But it's good omen for the market that you started above 8,000. And that's all really. I mean, apart from that, the real trading would start, of course, from Monday.
But are you still a little nervous about the overall trend of the market not being too gung-ho?
Indeed, I am, because, look, it would be about global markets from here on again. I know that the Indian market have got back the Modi premium, and that is something that the market would have an advantage. So if the global market is flat, the Indian market would outperform. But if the global markets go into a bit of a tailspin, the US market is still not showing signs of bottom. It looks like what we had was basically essentially a upward turn journey within a correction. The correction is still not over for US market. That's the sense you get. I could be wrong, and if that happens, if Dow has to correct say 5 to 10%, the Indian market would correct 3 to 4%.
Actually, that was I expected to ask Sudarshan that, but I thought we should start with our own indices. Sudarshan, how is the S&P 500, if that's what you look at as a gauge for the US markets appearing or panning out? 2010, and then we went to 1860, and then 1940. Is that deep correction over, or are we going to go below 1860 sometime soon?
No, I think we'll go below 1860. Whether it's going to be sometime soon or later is difficult to say, because we could rally and then decline. But the US indices as well as the European indices are giving us very clear signs of a distribution pattern. And absolutely, Anuj is right. Sooner or later, we'll also follow them. The only question is one of timing and the intensity. If they fall, how much will we fall? That's a different issue.
All right, Sudarshan, on that note, let's take a break. Thank you very much for joining us this Diwali. Once again, a very happy Diwali to you and a great year ahead. Some of that, of course, you will share with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, let's get into that promised break. But before that, leave you with some top Diwali bets from Vishal Kshatriya and Meghna Malkan.
My first pick for the day is going long on Mindtree. Stock managed to bounce back from its trendline support placed on its weekly chart. Besides this, we have also seen a spurt in volumes, which clearly indicates that emerging demand in the stock at support levels. Technical oscillators have also given buy signal. Traders can initiate long at current market price with a target price of 1150, maintain stop loss below 960.
My first call is a buy on RCom Limited. The stock formed a bullish candlestick pattern in yesterday's trading session. RSI seems to be taking support at 40 levels and moving up from there onwards. I would therefore like to go long on RCom with a stop of 100 for targets of 108 and 111.
My second recommendation would be going long on Pidilite. Overall trend in the stock is positive, which is depicted by formation of higher tops and higher bottoms on its daily chart. Besides this, stock has also given flag pattern breakout with good volumes on its daily chart. Technical oscillators continue to trade in positive territory. Traders can initiate long at current market price with a target price of 440, maintain stop loss below 390.
My second call is a buy on United Phosphorus Limited. 320 seems to be acting as a good support for the stock. It is also taking support at 20-period moving average on weekly charts. I would therefore like to recommend a long on UPL with a stop of 330 for targets of 347 and 352.
I'd like to wish all the viewers of CNBC TV 18 a very happy Diwali, and keeping with the spirit of the times, let's also make it a clean Diwali and in the spirit of the Swachh Bharat movement.